Hello and welcome to this continuing continuing first look. Start this again. Hello and welcome to this continuing first look exploring session looking at the Aphrodysial or the Sea Feast by William Percy. We are towards the end of the Elizabethan dramatic spectrum where William Percy purports to write for a boys' company. Whether that's true or not is unclear, but he certainly writes his texts out like they were. We've done the first two acts, and actually we enjoyed it rather a lot. William Percy can be a bit weird, but he does give you something to talk about. So we have had a lot of fun. Um, and there are various different versions, usually, of these texts in manuscript. So there may be textual variations depending on which version you may be looking at home, if indeed you are. Reading with us today, reading Nereus, Vulcan, Proteus, etc. is...
Hi, I'm Greg, and oh my god, it's nearly 5 years I've been doing this.
Yes, we're nearly at our anniversary. Which is also an anniversary of an incredibly traumatic world event. So it's sort of both a good thing and a bad thing. Reading Cytheraea, Rudens, Humida, and somebody else who think I've typed in wrong in the team sheet is...
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm here to read everything and
Oh,
anything. That just sounds wrong. Anyway, yeah.
Reading Oceanus, Brontes, Harpax, and Leander is...
Keith Hill, Northeast London.
Reading Glauce, Steropes, Talus, Gripus, etc. is...
Liza Graham, Southeast London.
And I'm your host, Robert Crighton. I'll be reading stage directions. I'll also read Balene, Thetis, and Ponticus, who does talk to themselves at least once. But I will try to be not too pompous about being Ponticus. So without further ado, we're going to dive into the text. Act 3, Scene 1. The consort has been knocked up. Enter Oceanus, brave and glorious to behold. Cytheraea, Nereus, Thetis, Glauce, the three graces, attendants, everybody apart from Leander and Hero, who I assume enter later on. Oceanus is alas muted.
Cytheraea, queen of the heavenly orbs, as we all well may now say, happily to this our court welcome you be. For such be the defects of our element here, we had need the general parliament of gods had descended to us from above to have discussed our wrongs. Yet, since alone in you be contained what of them is said, we humbly beseech your deity divine, you would but straighten us in these our paths, and see redress to each that is amiss.
My lord, such is the power love hath infused into the breast of ours, that from the beginning of the world, that as it is my bounden duty, I may not gainsay you in what I may. So whatsoever it be that your lordship shall impose upon me, I shall be ready, with all that strength and power lieth in me, obey you to the utmost of what I can.
Honour and thanks to the sacred person of thy noble self. My petition too, be it to the Parliament of Heaven, that have endued thee with that sapience that is in them contained, for, as I said thou were at first the mother of us all, we may beseech their good deities all, the last thou mayst be unto them and us.
What is your suit to us, Lord Nereus? For by your look it seemeth unto me you have in hand some match, the which without our help may not be performed so well.
Noble Cytheraea, as it is, lo, without ceremony, I tell you true, Glauce, my daughter, whom you behold here, whilst austere this morn vented his rage on the Hellespont, by force and strength of arms set on fair Leander as he crossed our ward unto his mate, whose since, by doom of our marine deities, as also by privilege of place in which he's now, he's adjusted to Glauce's bed. We beseech you would but present be at the divorce, and with your sacred hands knit to the heart knot.
A lusty lass married to Count Russell with a lusty man. There. A lusty lass married to Count Russell with such a lusty young man to her bed. How say you, Glauce? Be you contented that I do make of this bond between you? Ha.
Madam, what thanks Glauce may yield unto you for the same most willingly she subscribeth.
Trust me, madam, my sister Glauce in this hath got the advantage on me, yet I hope sure my case will be better, though long in breeding.
True have you spoken, Lady Thetis, true, for your destiny is it have a worthier mate than she. But be you content, Glauce, I make of this match between you?
I am.
Much good do it you, I woo the gods then.
And the gods reward Cytheraea for it.
In the behalf of both, I do give thanks to your sacredness as of my children both. The while to you, my suit, let it be this. If any there shall be default here, in this your now Aphrodysial, madam, either in cheer or in sport, you would not impute it a fault unto us, but to the hasty coming of yourself upon us.
So, and shall like you, good Lord Ocean?
So, let us all to dinner. Come.
Your lordship would but lead the way, we will follow you.
And they exit. Okay, just getting us back in the zone, getting our teeth back in gear. Everyone trying to remember. It's been a slightly longer gap between sessions than we normally do, so we are generally struggling to remember what's going on. But yes, we have a petition. And things are being set up. It weirdly, it feels less like the opening of Act 3. It feels more like the opening of the play again. It's sort of like, it's like actually, I know it is continuing a certain amount of plot action from earlier, but there is a sort of a sense of everyone just come back from the interval and maybe wasn't quite up to speed. Then there's a little bit of that potentially in there. Thoughts in the room? Anyone want to leap in on this? Keith?
I'm getting increasingly the feeling of a very long drawn out in-joke on the part of the classical sixth form. This is, some of the surreality of it reminds me of Christmas ward shows I saw at my father's hospital. Where whole sketches would be done in a version of Flemish or something. I'm sure they're all rolling in the R's if they've got a classical education, but what the hell anybody else is expected to make of it, I really don't know.
Yes, it is a little yeah, that there is something going on here that I'm not quite sure what it is. Other thoughts? Otherwise, we'll go on. I don't think we're allowed to sort of take that one to just bed us in a bit. Greg?
Yeah, I completely agree with Keith. It feels like something like the Christmas Mass. It feels like those college plays. Is it Parnassus?
Yep.
I didn't
Road
actually
Parnassus.
read, but it feels very much. And yeah, I mean, my degree is ancient history and archaeology, so I've sort of got a knowledge of some of this. But my God, I mean, let alone anything else, it's pronunciation of these bloody people. I mean, I'm looking at my first line in the next scene and going, great. I mean, it's on and on of just constantly going, how do you pronounce that again? Or how does Greek? Oh, is this Greek or Roman? Oh, sod it. It's going to be, we're going to get 30 different pronunciations of everybody's name throughout this evening, I can tell, and that's fine.
Yes, everybody says it. I mean, in a sense, it's good for for audio. That everybody uses each other's names constantly. So it's like they've done that basic training. Liza, were you waving?
Yeah, just I do like the idea. It's an end of term jape, and it's basically sort of every myth about the sea ever, and just put them in a bag and shake them. But this interesting idea that Glauce or Glossy or Glauce, the nymph, Nereus's daughter, that basically, I think there's antecedent in one of the retelling in is it an Ovid? Maybe that she saw a hero swimming over to Leander and decided she liked him and decided to pull him under. And basically, like, she drowned him, so now he has to divorce Hero and marry her. And it's something like, they're asking Cytheraea, Venus, to bless the divorce as well as the marriage. So that's really interesting.
I would, and these plot lines are set up earlier in the text, and that's not coming out of the blue, but it is a bit for us because, as I say, it's been a couple of weeks since we actually looked at the first part of the text. So it's like remembering, oh yes, these people are doing this, and this is what they're trying to make happen. Eric,
But also the fact that she's asking Glauce, but not Leander. Leander does not get a say in this at all.
No, absolutely no. Of course not. Of course not. That would just be too sensible. Probably also because they know the answer. So let's go on and dive into the other plot line. I definitely remember Vulcan being about last time. I don't think any of the others were. So enter Vulcan, Brontes, Steropes, and Pyracmon with hammers and aprons, goldsmith hammers, else ironwork hammers for better properties of moving their arms. Whither the better you may choose. It's always lovely to have an option as to what hammer you go for. The city supposed as also their hammers by moving of their arms only, or hammers real, whither the better. The longer hammer, I think.
I'm sorry. Oh, dear. Pyracmon, Brontes, Steropes.
My lord.
Lord.
Bring me forth the smithy and fall to work. I think that's smithy, not stithy.
Stithy is correct for this period.
All right, I felt completely wrong then. Bring me forth the stithy and fall to work. The present will not be done by the time else.
Labour will be in the beating, the rest is nothing.
Then timely let us beat it.
In a Pythagorean round, I wis.
So set, masters.
They moved their arms as they'd been working. No song here.
I wonder, Cytheraea, that drinketh like a sparrow, so the gods of the sea should bespeak her a posset bowl would water an ox, my lord.
It was my lord, Lady Aglaia, her own project, not any theirs, I do assure you, gentlemen.
As how, I pray you?
I have a wife. The Lord be praised for her. Of the elements of other halls, sober abroad and ravenous at home. And that is the very cause she bespoke him so.
Why then in a pox bespoke she not an engine to heave it to her mouth?
For she uses it to mitch away all from her lady by the tap.
So, you conclude your wife to be a whore, my lord?
Dost not see it?
Yeah, very well.
Sorry, God. Yet, when I... Sorry, corpsing. Yet when I do tell her of it, ever and anon she breaks my head with a rusty hammer for it.
But how shall like you?
Sine cerere et Baccho frigid Venus. Without wine and good cheer, Venus waxes cold.
Can you not break hers with another, my lord?
As how, say you?
Temperat appositum lympha refusa merumi. Put but full water into your wine, you shall be safe.
No gore yet now, and then she and I be at quarter blows.
Where she is quartermaster over you.
Once the quarter butt.
Oh, as when, my lord?
In bucking time, but...
Ooh, videlicet ever.
I shall tell you, sir, if I had such a wife, I should have her head and the stithy together, sure.
Oh, possible by force of hammer. There is not to be beat forth such another, sure.
A pox on her, she is good for naught.
True, for she is good to be naught, for I shall tell you, gentlemen, she hath picked my pocket many and oft.
Oh, good repairer of his wife's crevice he is.
Faith, good my lord, how oft the year doth your lordship lie with her?
But once the year,
Oh, as when?
upon her marriage day, but
She shuts him up her stallion, I believe.
I will trick her a coat to her father.
She, with her tricks, will trick you another.
I will anatomize the carrion onto him.
Oh, sing we and be merry, and let the carrion gad whither her head will lead her well.
Well said, by my faith, for we have even smoke enough in the house without her.
Oh, yes, by Our Lady, and sweet St. Anne too.
But come, let us round it in a silver round, all for men we. Come.
A thing at this time not unrequisite, therefore not to be omitted. Say.
And here we have the third song. Here, the shorter hammers or hands. So don't use the long hammers for this song. Is this the anvil chorus or what? We'll go Greg, then Eric, then Keith, then Liza for the stanzas.
To city, you Cyclops soon, and let us take this bowl in hand. It will be high noon before it be done. I do protest by Cupid's brand. Pit-pat, strike it sound. Pit-pat, clip him round.
This metal of gold, though it is but brittle, give him chance that it to us sold. The dross is much, and the substance but little, will give him bane that has thus pulled. Pitter-pat, strike it round. Pitter-pat, clip him round.
Well said, my mates, and lusty masters all, strike the iron while it is hot. If after dinner you come to my hall, ye shall be repaid every groat. Pitter-pat, strike it sound. Pitter-pat, clip him round.
Noble Aglaia, my darling dear, now that thou art exalted fair, if thou hear'st on that side of the ear, thou wouldst but pay me my fare. Pitter-pat, strike its sound. Pitter-pat, clip him round. Way. Lo! Your son Talus cometh toward us with an oar on his shoulder. Seemeth by his countenance he would have some private conference with your lordship.
Well, it may so be. The boy hath not been well since morning. Go, get you an oar. Just an hour, then do you fall again to your work. All.
Fear not, my lord, we shall.
Exit Brontes, Pyracmon, and Steropes. We'll run straight to the next scene, Act 3, Scene 3, because it's a continuation of the action. Enter Talus with an oar.
I'm Talus now.
You are.
Father, God speed your hand. I pray the gods so prosper you in your chiefest wish, sir, as I have need of succor at your hand.
Hannah, man, what makes thee look thus sad?
Father, the Paphian god hath struck me.
God's precious. Nay, if that be it, will have her eye, and it were like a lair for thy love. For blither than she is, for blither than she cannot be.
Not all the tongues that be from pole to pole, not all those charms that be contained in Vesta, nor all the powers that come from Erebus, may either ease or comfort me.
And why, I pray you?
So difficult I found this precious purchase.
The woman, say?
Thetis, begot of Dory and Nereus.
That is, I've known as light as is that froth, and would she not grant?
Indeed, she grant me, but with such a condition, father.
Relate the circumstance from point to point.
I had, quoth she, now many years agone, a ceston for my wrists, which long I held as precious as these eyes. With it I quelled the waves, with it the waves I likewise raised, whenas at any time I crossed the main, raised likewise with this the affections of love. This same I lent one day to Ulysses, moved with compassion on the man, whilst he in dangerous peril was of life, to bring him safe on shore, which since the time never mine eyes could see it more.
And then?
she said she vowed to marry none but him should bring it her. Withal, she did impose the task upon me. So with unpartial eye behold, sir, how I have toiled.
I smell her delight. The quaint and delicate stomach will digest no fish, but codfish, they say. What wouldst thou have me do for thee? Say, Talus, the bolts of Jupiter be made, of scalding oysters, of freezing aqualays, of fire, of hail and rain. Now, of same stuff, if you might.
I think that's actually where it says Talus.
Yeah, say Talus. That should be absolutely.
Oh, sorry, I missed that completely.
Yeah. No, it's not your fault. It's a formatting error. Talus, take up the reins from the bolts.
The bolts of Jupiter be made, of scalding oysters, freezing aqualays, of fire, of hail, and rain. Now, of same stuff, if you might work like Seston under gold enameled to blear her sight, I would not doubt but obtain the fruit of any long suit.
This all hast say to me?
Sir, this is all.
How if I be deprived of heavenly bliss to pleasure thee?
Rather let Talus die.
Thy suit is grant. The possible it be I shall be hurled down the sky for it. Come thy ways, and gather thy spirit. Since the one left I have already broke, I will as well adventure the other for thy sake. I'll teach her a trick for aspiring to make men greater than the gods, I warrant her.
Thank you, sir. Your liberality hath redeemed me from the jaws of hell.
Come, dispatch, for I have business now concerning mine own very self in hand. Come.
And they exit. Okay, it's a game of two halves. It's the opening sequence of let's discuss the joys of beating one's wife with hammers while singing about it. Yeah, that sort of business, and then we get to plot. Actual plot happens. So we have entirely extraneous. I mean, it's quite, for what it's setting aside what it's actually saying. It's quite well formed as comedic business. It's just yes, a little problematic, but just a tad. But then we have Talus coming in. I need to do this thing. Can you help me? And so that's moving that little plot line further along here. People asking God, to do impossible tasks, or what appear to be impossible tasks. That's a thing that often happens with supernatural creatures. Thoughts in the room? Liza.
I found the note on props really interesting. It's like you can use imaginary hammers, you can use goldsmith's hammers, but those the movement might not read, so you might want to use ironworking hammers. And then also notes like no song here, which I guess if you're working from cue sheets and you have two bits where the three sons are doing smith work, and one of those bits has a song and one doesn't. So that's, I don't know. And the stage direction that when he says that Thetis is light as froth, he points to some corner of the stage. I'm finding the stage directions interesting from the point of view of performance practice.
Yes, and this is the big question. Is this stage directions from someone who just overwrites stage directions because he doesn't really work with the stage? He's just seen a lot of plays and knows what he wants. So he's giving them all the options of he's really thought about what kind of prop hammers. Whereas of course if it had actually happened, because of course it keeps flipping from what tense it's in as well. It happened then, or this is what you could do, and it's like the text can't decide which it is. Either it happened or it didn't, mate. Keith, I think, was waving.
Yeah, it's beginning to sound a bit like George Bernard Shaw, who's decided that because he was a drama critic and considered all plays to be dreadful, he might as well write them himself. I suddenly got one of my bees in my bonnet about this word. I had a seston for my wrist. I've been trying to find out what a seston is, and all I can find out is it's a borrowing from French that was archaic by 1600. And it seems, as far as I can make out, although I can't find a definition anywhere, to be the French equivalent of thingamy.
Mm. Well, there is
an endearing touch.
There is a textual note that the Malone Society edition doesn't give you sort of commentary, but what it does give you is what's happening to one of the manuscripts of this. So that has been added. That's a changed bit. There's a little bit of pasted paper apparently, and it's replacing the word bracelet. So I can't tell you what it is, but it replaced. It's the author has taken some time to change the word bracelet to seston.
Thank you, Eric, as well.
So that's the edition. Maria Schmiegel's work on that. It's very useful. Any other thoughts about the scene and the action and the plot and stuff, Eric?
I just like the song. It's just like, because you had like that note about like there is no song here, and then there was dialogue, and then you got a song at the end of the scene.
Yes, and going back to Liza's point about that cueing, it's like they're doing the physical action, but they don't do the song. So they're doing the hammering at that point, but they're not singing. And later on, they're presumably doing both. The songs are always good in William Percy, which always makes me wonder who wrote them. Liza.
Well, the smithing song. Remember, there was a Lord Mayor's show where they had like smiths doing a song where the refrain was like thwick a thwack, and so it's interesting. There were because I suppose a lot of metalwork is so rhythmic. It's from that day to this, it's inspired a lot of music.
Right. Any more? Otherwise, we'll dive into the other plot line. The Harpax. Well, I'm calling it the Harpax plot line. I'm reading two parts, so that might get confusing. But I have a hat, so I'll try and not be too confusing. Anyway, Act 3, Scene 4. Enter Proteus, Harpax, Rudens, Ponticus, and Gripus.
Come, my mates. Let me battle you myself, come.
We be too gross for thy battling, Proteus.
Come, Harpax. Present thou here. Neptune with thy trident. Rudens, thou here behind me with thy ropes. Ponticus on thy left side with his lever. Gripus, thou here on the right hand with thy grapple. So, where be the rest all?
I do know of none else that you have, unless it be honest Glaucus that keeps at home the cats from burning, Master Proteus.
Aye, in the arms of this circle.
And we have the stage direction. He had about him, like a scarf, a black list beset with black figures, and now placed on the floor. Book and wand too, the signs of the zodiac, mixed with other of a fashion more strange. The figures being, both together, of this list. Why, marry, sir, he hath placed himself like unto a politic and wary captain, I vow.
Captain Hannibal did the like, sirs, I do assure ye true.
I'm persuaded. I shall egregiously anger the villain now. I do so stand putting horns at him low.
Rather than standing like one should stick a brawn, Harpax.
Thou like an ox, summoner Ponticus, the rather.
I will gird him in faith.
Sir, when begin we, I pray you?
Now, sir.
So, sir.
Buckle in yourselves.
We do, sir.
Fear not, and I warrant you.
We true, sir.
Call when you see him.
Ooh, sir.
Come not within my circle, I read you.
Oh, no, sir.
At every couplet's end, passed an antic over the stage with a dish of fish. Music still played on, and from this place to the latter end of the next scene, the still music playing on both scenes through.
Oysters and muscle, my psyche, have a bushel before my lord upon his board. Were you intrigued by Jove's high seat? Do not repent you, but see, present you, ere he be set unto his meat.
Your humble servants, consider me your manifold virtues, my lord. Sorry, I'll try that again. Your humble servants, consider me your manifold virtues, my lord. Be comes her to present you with a boat full of their caption. See.
Act 3, Scene 5, enter Balene. What's the score?
Marry, my lord, first and in premise, before your entrance to table, here's a huge and well and truly measured bushel of oysters for you.
There be too few for my feeding here.
We have chosen them as near as we could to the size of your maw, my lord.
I shall not be filled with them now, I assure you. The more sorry we.
Since it will be no other with you, what other remedy, sir, I pray you now?
Why, some other dish, I beseech you now.
Meat for king, a dish of lings, I divine by yon sunshine, a foreign state awaits debate. Hastily soon ere he be gone, else would he soon they call Greg.
Ling, Ling, stand thou near, that I may but smack thee now.
Truly, sir, most carelessly he low now fumeth upon you, see.
Ooh, the villain thinketh more of his lechery than he does of his belly. I perceive him true.
For did you not observe with what hot assaults of embracements he came upon the Ling, her? I have smacked him, and smacked him sufficiently, I trow.
He will be much made on for it, I do assure you, my lord.
Both by male and by female, I assure you, sir.
Now, sir, abate him now with a view of Cod's head.
Let me alone with him, come. Capricious cod, I pray, my God, a goodly June as cabbage done, may wax thy pole as huge as Powell, as it is said in ancient red. My lord be fed with thy great head.
Look ye, sir, a most comely and venerable cod's head presents him now unto you.
I have but tasted of him. Not of him, I'm sure you have, for my belly is full of the foresaid Ling, I assure you.
That I perceived well by that the salt rheum he belched upon thee, Ponticus. Ooh.
Truly, sir, we've taken marvellous pain in the taking some cod for your lordship.
Some other dish, I beseech you now.
Proteus, a jelly of sturgeon hath not his fellow for a prince's board, they say.
Come on, by my troth, come. Sturgeon bite to whom people of Rome wanted to fume, trumpet and bum, when he come in, their lords to dine. My lord not fight for fearful sight, as if that sight were ghastly sprite.
Lo you, my lord, a sturgeon keepeth now in his mouth, for fear lest he should displease your honour with it, lo.
He frighted a king with it once, but he kisses your lordship with it now.
I will none of him, for he smells too rank of the marine. Fa!
You will consume for it, if I may be bold, say it to you, my lord, I dare well say.
Second course, ha!
Down. I think thou livest on the savour of broiled meats, as do the gods of Olympus, sirrah.
By your leave, I perceived yet that his mouth much did water after the salt fish, sirs.
So, man, he did after the rest.
Second course, I say.
To dresser, Proteus.
Gentlemen and yeomen, wait you on the sewer all, huh?
Thou art the merriest piece as ever man dealt with, sirrah.
Fishes and wantons from divers cantons. You be so wimble, you be so nimble, but once the year we see you here. Pass by in shoals, forsake your hulls, as you next year increase would hear.
Lo ye, sir, a whole shoal of them gloating upon you, so that you may come forth, choose you according to your own good liking now.
Reach me but a note of them.
Here be herrings, gurnets, mackerels, congers, whitings, places, puffins, poutings, great crab and little crab, anchovies, greenfish, cum multis, aliis, quos nunc per scribere longamest.
I am satisfied with them all. See, never a whip you be.
True, for omni quod est nimium vertitur in vitium, say the philosophers, gentlemen.
Old sore and true, sir, Goodman Gripus, it is. Cheese and fruit, oh!
Oh, of all baits, a piece of cheese is the surest.
So it be toasted.
So to be translated, sure.
Come on, let us but see the event whereof come. Porpoise and Atlantic the dancing to prank you, telling the weather ready to get hither. Say that I say it, and I not delay it. Oh, to close more upon than one he doth sup before my lord. Bring cheese to board.
Here they brought in sea fruit and cheese, some analogical resemblances to the same fruits, they be that grow on the ground.
Now, stand you all close, sirs.
Oh, be ready with thy ropes, Rudens.
Hold up thy lever, man.
Aye, let me alone with him.
Sorry, I've lost control of the script. Hang on a second. Oh, sorry, lost the line. Somebody cover me.
I think it's Proteus anyway.
Oh, right.
Oh, sorry. You Gripus, hold forth thy grapple more stiff unto him fall.
Aye, I was.
Now stand close, I say.
Now or never.
There is not one yet for my diet, I assure you.
No?
No.
Why, if we shall never do it, I vow.
I thought verily we should have had him this time, fellow Proteus.
I know, that's... Oh, God.
A pox follow the rascal.
And the green canker consume him eke.
Nay, now, sirs, we will either have him or be fighting forth our wits all.
Oh, let us see it, prithee.
Come, I pray you, sir, come.
Sir, please you wash, for lo you now, the vicar is coming towards you. Say grace to your lordship.
I will sing gratulation to him first.
This is notable by my troth.
Come, begin, Proteus, begin, whore. The Balene whistleth the Spanish pavan to them from within. Then entered an antic like an ill-favoured hermit of the sea, a basin and towel before him, with capoche, long beard, finny feet and hands, an exit passing over the stage.
Proteus, make up the odd crotchet unto him that ho.
Come on. Thou in my heart, whoever thou art, now for thy spite I care one mite. The drag I find is far behind, then be not nice if thou beest wise, but come to banquet, and God be thanked.
Here the foresaid hermit appeared to them again, standing at door with fire, storm, and crackers from sky. They all fled but Proteus. Ho, 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 ho.
Now, if I be not with thee to bring yet forth before night, sinner, call me I go!
And they exit. Okay.
Sorry, all I'm going to say is WTF. I mean, that is one of the maddest scenes I think I've ever read in anything I have read with this group.
Yeah, does it hold a candle to the ball wrangling of the other William Percy?
Maybe not, because that did not. It's weird. I don't know why I started seeing this Proteus, but actually the scene went on. It actually almost made sense because he does sort of. He's almost marking time, and then there's that line about crotchet just before that last song. But yeah, no, it's a really interesting scene. But oh my god, how many fish! And I love the stage directions. I mean, as I said in the chat, it's feeling very Lord Mayor's show. It's got that sense of would they have done this? Would they actually have gone this mad? And I mean, I'm just thinking I can't remember which Lord Mayor show it was, but there was this glorious globe that split open, and I'm just thinking, it just reminds me of that sort of wonderful madness.
Well, I mean, here we do have to get to grips with what the hell the Balene is.
Okay, I have ideas.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's not set down. There's been one scene with the Balene in the last play, the last bit we read of this,
Yes.
right? I mean, he's a whale, right? He's basically a whale.
Yeah.
Except he's a sort of extra monstrous whale who can also breathe fire, a bit like a sea monster. And I think his whole thing, this scene, is being an offstage voice through a speaking trumpet.
Mm.
And I think the antic, and this is all to get him to come out of his lair.
Yes.
That they're giving him these fish for bait, and they're trying again to bait him with cheese and stuff, and so the antic, like, this might be a case of the Balene's, a bit like Darth Vader, of the Balene's voice and body being played by two different people. So the antic comes on like an ill-favored hermit of the sea with a huge beard, but then he appears to them again with fire, storm, and crackers from the sky. Not the good kind of crackers. So basically, he's old and weird, but he's still a monster. And
this is the thing, is that the last time we met him, he seemed to be just some guy, as opposed to this big monster that they were talking about. And now in this scene, he does seem to be a genuinely giant monster that can't fit onto the stage. And maybe all we can see is his mouth. And all these things that are being offered as tempters for him to come out throughout this scene, which then leads to all these songs. It's like songs of the food songs, and the stuff. And then this antic, is the antic the Balene, or is the antic how does that work?
I wonder, it suddenly occurs to me, is this a Lent play?
No, I don't think it's designed that way.
Tuesday play, because all the jokes about fish eating is very, very kind of Lent-ish.
I think that they are throwing in those jokes. So those jokes are there, but I don't think it's specifically for an occasion.
I mean, during Lent you couldn't perform plays, right? But like Shrove Tuesday you could.
Well, up to a point. But yeah, just you've got all this never-ending business of, offering food to the giant whale, and they're all standing by to try and catch it, and then they all run away. So it goes nowhere.
Scary. It's like, Moby Dick for clowns.
Yes, but is this antic that appears at the end? Is that what is it? Is it the personification of the Balene in some sort of weird, slightly disappointing way, or is what is the antic? Who is the foresaid hermit? Keith.
It feels like some sort of admonishing presence that has come to spoil the game and punish everybody for being so childish.
Mm. He's got a long beard, finny feet and hands, which again is a lovely costume description.
Yeah. It's another parallel has just struck me, which is the post-Civil War drolls.
Mm.
That stuff that Bryce Stratford got so stuck on a few years back, which are frequently crude to the point of surreality. Yeah.
Yes, and they often seem extra inexplicable because they have well-known clowns of the time doing their sort of gag things that they were well known for without any explanation of why this guy is trying to eat a piece of bread bigger than his head or whatever.
Yeah, because they're taking individual scenes out of context. I mean, the thing is, what I'm getting here is beyond that there are some details that don't make sense. The basic idea makes sense. It's just a never-ending joke, in a sense, of this never-ending parade of fish and or other eatables. And it's like, I'm sure the songs are quite fun, and I do quite the little ditties that Proteus is doing. But it's an incredibly long scene, and it seems to end with an anticlimax of it. Well, a sort of climax, but a sense that nothing happens, nothing changes. This is the same as we had earlier, to a degree, of the last scene we had with him, in the sense that it didn't go anywhere really, and it feels like that this is marking time at the moment. Oh well. Let's go back to Vulcan, shall we? Let's go back to Vulcan, see what's going on there. Act 3, Scene 6. Enter Vulcan alone. Vulcan in an air colour, silver dead ash colour, or shepherd's grey colour suit. Bigger in the body than he was before by far. Silver dead shepherd grey I deem the best. I absolutely. Always good.
Choices.
His extraordinary suit for this scene. For his other extraordinary suit, see earlier scene in Act 3. Then say as follows.
Sorry. Quid non mortalia pectora cogis, dare pure veneris compulsor totias orbis. I have fed so much on the cold meat of her Humida, her love, that the vital spirits of my blood, from that the alacrity they were wanted to have, he'd be turned sea into refuse kitchen stuff all. Which otherwise is to say, from that the pure flame that I was once, I have metamorphosed into this the thick air that I am now. Wherefore, Humida, I am come upon thy several now, sub intelligendium est, if thou hast any. For before I was as dry as fire, but now I am as moist as the air. Before I was as hot as the fire, but now I am low, but somewhat hot as is the fire. For the superabundant quality I have preserved him but some mediocre to your use. Yet notwithstanding, one more thing most impatiently doth affright me. I dreamt this last night I lay with Humida, and she bepissed me. Oh, dear fool, she did it according to her complexion, therefore she is to be pardoned, and yet my leg putteth me into some hoop of her. Omnia munda mundis, ea sacrifice, for so peremptory is the conceit of a true Puritan lover. They say of himself, lightly he findeth not any one thing to be in him amiss. What though is the stiffer joint of me, which underhand now I do imagine myself to be as crooked as a sickle, likewise. Yet most open and mechanical demonstration such as is that of my lady Humidas, all the perfect to be resolved by a quicker device than by that of a straight. I, a true theoric, Dawson. Jupiter, thou broke my leg once, I am sure, yet that thy son, he that is, the true bone setter of Olympus, the Lord Phoebus Apollo, shall now not so soon pluck him straight into the former joint again. Therefore, for as long as I may walk with such earthly paragons on shore, I will never after pearl to heaven more. Calling thy conceited affection, Vulcan, for methinks thou fallest out of that the love of Humida into this the love of thy leg. Ugh! Wherefore could wish thou wouldst, but cage him until soon. So come, that's the matter. And here is the matter. Here comes Humida.
Enter Harpax, Humida in Arida's gown, peruke and ruff, all of gold sand colour, squired in by Harpax to his lord and master.
Lo, my fair lord and master, I have lured you hither, the haggard Serotamon, I vow.
Humida, my love, my lip, my eye, my kid, my dove, my honey, body, hi!
Here Vulcan, starting up his body from afar, as would have leapt her, and could not, and starting back withal, then read you the rest, read you the red, restip for lively in the line B, C earlier note. Otherwise, he's skipping hither the better, side away from Humida, if that he may so do by a device in his shoe. Then contrariwise, read the words lively for restiff in the last fifth line, etc. following.
What ails my love?
Upon her, noble sir.
Dost fly me now, thou hast my love?
I cannot choose. Thou smellest dry as is the earth, my girl.
He starteth back, she follows.
Ah!
I have not lightly seen air to have been so restive or so lively.
I will myself environ thee.
Get further off from me, for God's sake. Hey!
He skips aside as if so he may.
Come, mix thine arms with mine.
Oh, fast as I may.
He stopped.
Be these thy protestations what?
What?
He stopped.
And shall I reap this service at thy hand?
No, Humida, no! Hey!
He skips back.
Come on thy ways and follow me.
Lord! Lord! Lord!
He stopped.
Come on, I say.
I come to thee! I come to thee! Oh!
He stopped.
I see thou hast deluded me, therefore thus do begin unto thee, villain.
Jump!
Sue me not.
She started back or slowed. He followed.
Bus!
Nay, nay, touch me not.
Oh, yes!
For waft off, I say.
Nay!
Get thee hence.
No! No, my wings!
Kiss my tail, you fool.
Oh! Oh! Regard my tool!
Out, you rogue!
Oh, me! My fab!
Hadst none in this circumference, knave, say to play upon but me, a water nymph, but me, a daughter of wise Proteus, that says that Thetis shall have a son greater than the gods of high Olympus all. I vow, from every vein thou shalt repent it. Cytheraea, wonder of the universe, is come hither to keep her festival, where before her I shall so blazon thee.
In a motley, I beseech you, lady.
That the whole court shall wonder at the fact, till when I do leave thee to chew on this, the foulest rascal that ever I met with.
Exit Humida.
And me to provide the cloak bag for him.
Sorry. Ah! Wait!
Why bleed you, my lord?
Sorry. Oh, why did great Pan from Liverpool went for his love he caught a mead?
Pan piped for his love, and you squeak.
No conserve is able to conserve me.
A consolidum will close your heart yet.
Where did the apple of anguish hath closed it?
How say you to a cup of hellebore to mitigate your madness, though?
Well, boy, if for each gullet I might have put a comfort to him, for amore et fede et mele est fecundissimos.
Shall I be your physician? Say.
I do grant thee a license for the same.
I shall be a mighty gainer by it.
I don't believe thee will.
Therefore, raise your spirits and do you conjure me up the other woman now.
I shall be blazoned.
I warrant you.
Persuades thou me?
I do.
What's the forfeit thou fallest?
My
Fair to
credit.
It is little as may, yet notwithstanding, I will now suddenly transform me into my flame-coloured habitude, and according thy bidding will assay the other.
Whilst I shall fan the fire unto your lordship and attend you.
Ah, do thank thee for it, by my troth. Come on, Harpax. Come on.
And exeunt. Okay, we have some questions about the precise nature of this comedy business of leaping forward and falling to and skipping, stopping, and precisely how that worked. Liza, you're muted. Please tell us what happened.
Okay, it seems to me that it's a choice between two different kinds of business. One where he goes towards her but fails, and one where he skips away from her. So you can either play attraction or repulsion, although by the end of the scene he is playing attraction. So
yeah.
The line so restive or so lively, you have to pick one. I think what the meaning of that note is, you have to pick one of the terms according to which bit of business he's doing. So he either tries to leap on her and is unable and falls back, or uh, or he's skipping sideways away from her, if that he may do so by a device in his shoe.
Yes, the device in his shoe is not a very helpful note.
Well, Vulcan is he's broken-legged, right?
Mm.
Because Jupiter hurled him down from heaven or something. So that's the whole thing about him talking about his leg earlier, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe the humidity is bad for his joints or something.
Well, indeed. She did bepiss him in his dream, so
Well, he does seem to be between attraction and revulsion. It's like, but this is Humida somehow disguised as Arida.
yeah.
But he sees that she is Humida.
So it's very the problem is, unless we have a clear line of what is happening, it's very difficult to interpret the scene. Having options isn't actually very helpful. Keith,
Well,
you're muted at the moment, Keith.
Yes, sorry. I got the impression, and I liked Greg's note in the chat, carry on under the sea, that he's absolutely repulsed by her when she wants him. He is possibly bewitched, so that when she wants him, he is flung away from her like a light pole magnet. And when she doesn't want him, he's irresistibly drawn to her. I had completely misinterpreted. I now realise that if in doubt, do this. If in doubt, do that. Note. Stage direction. Depending on whatever you did last time, do the opposite.
Yeah.
Is it?
Something along those lines. It's not very clear. So we will unfortunately have to move on because time flies, and we're nearly at the end of the act. So let's go to the other plot line that we haven't really touched on much. This time, Act 3, Scene 8, enter Arion with an Arion alone.
oh gods, when will you set a period unto my watery toil? When will you fix the center to my wandering? Or where will pitch my rock to rest upon? As gods be just to frustrate thieves, so should they benefit the harmless wanderer in what he seeks. For, tell me, lords, when did Arion ever profane your rites or reeking hecatombs? When did Arion frustrate you of fat of beeves or of the bloods of offerings? Have I not sung upon my seven-string lute, upon your days, your jests heroical? Ah, have I not heaved to your golden shrines my fragrant wreaths of thyme and eglantine obtained by my skill? Yea, have not I built you altars with my rhymes? Then, O good gods, unloose this yoke, and grant me at the last my longed tranquillity. For know you, lords, I've swum these seas both height and longitude, have dived each pool, each creek, each Triton's den, the Halcyon's couch, and every Barton bed, among the silver shells and in the pebble, nor yet can find this long-desired ceston. Never, I ween, was fortune in these seas, or if she had found long since this ceston. The greedy shark pursues his prey and finds the tench, the roach, the wolf, the water swallow, the orc, the dolphin, the lesser fish, the greater fish, the lesser, and human eye bereft of silly ceston. There say there dwells in parcel of these seas a god that hath a dream for everything. He that dreams Thetis shall have a son more great than the gods if she but wed with them. Him will I try, and as Orpheus moved grim Dis of hell, once try my art, and see I may attain a dream unto this ceston.
And he played then a dance of seals and of porpoises in your own time, Liza. No. Then the hall opening was seen as summer noonday couch of sand colour, with a sort of dreams, animate and inanimate of diverse colours, hanging by invisible or an ash colour threads of silk over bolster of the couch. It bolt and erect, being but big as pawns of chess, or Proteus with sundry such in a mound around his neck. Thus, for some, the rest to be omitted, saving the dance of the seals and porpoises. If you doubt, always do the seals and porpoises. Act 3, Scene 9, enter Proteus.
God's blessing on thy breast, man. Thou hast given Hippocrates to the soul of Proteus. Ask what thou wilt, thou shalt have it, sir.
Thank you, sir. I crave but one single face. For the rest, I let them free to your pleasure.
Arion, thou shalt both divide and choose.
Here he demonstrates some of them with his rod.
Say, wilt have this gentleman with the peak, this sleek monkey with the bread in its mouth, this cat with the tabor, and else this mongrel of wags, or the jackanapes with his fiddle, or please you, sir, wear this medal. Here.
This will serve my turn. The other I remit.
I am limited by own capital where, see.
Here Arion took up a bracelet of gold, interchangeably the one roll black, the other of diverse colours enamelled. He took him up as he hung over the bolster of the bed, or forth the mound.
So with abundant thanks I take my leave, for this great benefit you've done to me, and if at any time you want my skill, command, and have Arion's wires at will.
Now go thy ways, with all my heart and with all my soul, after thee, sweet musician, for thou hast given me the reflection of the soul, I assure thee. Yet I cannot but muse how it came to pass he should have entertained above the rest this Teston. I would chew the cud of his intent. Verily, the gallant knave, according to the force and virtue that is in this Teston, know that he wanted a swashing codpiece. Quantam familiis omnibus unus artis. For of other properties that be in him, he knows not any, so according to the complexion of his fellow swaggerers in the bush, he came to overreach me of my jewel I held so dear. Not welfare is hard for the one property of him, for his hand hath deserved his other properties too, by my troth. Yet lest the other Arions now come to, and do start me like Jack, I will presently belt all my doors and all my windows. I have in my house upon all their sweet and well-featured faces pat, to sweet, courteous, young gentlemen, I wish you to frolic.
And exuent. Okay, so we're finding our the things we desire, and there's another song and dance number and stuff. Lots of detail. Again, it's the detail of all the soft furnishings and props that is particularly interesting here. I quite like the way again he goes. You can cut everything except for the dance of the seals and the porpoises, because obviously that's the best bit. That's what people have paid their money for.
So you can either have this as a bit of set with a rich couch with various dreams hanging from it by threads above it. You can visualize this, can't you? This mobile of little glittery things and figures as big as pawns of chess. Or if you can't have the set, then Proteus can just enter with the dreams in a sort of garland around his neck to be offered. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go back to Vulcan, as it were. Live long and prosper. So let's see. It's basically the same scene, I think, inverted with the other lot. So Vulcan, pull in your confusion and it's gonna be. Yeah. Act 3, Scene 10. Enter Vulcan in his other extraordinary suit fitted for this scene. Cloth of gold flame colour or red gold colour.
Gentlemen, behold, I have spoken forth the whole mystery of my body, and am metamorphosed again from that the gross air that I was once into my first and into my own true and natural elementary property of fire, as I am now. For Humida, with her bunch of candles of threats, set on fire my grease that I fell into coals, so as by that I mean I lost my total and my universal tallow tree. For this time, therefore, my sweet Arida, I come low to mate thee, but to the burnt leavings of it, the villainous cold and dry moor I know thou hast according to thy earthly complexion. Wench! Oh! Yet a good fire, as I did imitate the same to thee in my letter, which is myself, and the humidity of the broth, which is my affection to thee, I may well keep thee, help thee with it down, my maid. More I have reserved me, which to say I have preserved me, for to enable thee the better thee to dress me. But say, what fearest thou to approach me? Am I a toad? Why? Am I a basilisk? Besides, am I only the venomous insect? Iron defied! Thou lovest me, I know, for thou hast done it, but for to set a keener edge upon my appetite, I know. Oh, most heartily I do thank thee for it, and for the same now, lo, I do rest thy perpetual servant. Yet let me give thee but this one item, by the way, my dear Arida. Oh, whereas now I am but tenderly roasted. Is thou but that if that thou hie me not hither the sooner for a sumptuous supper that thou wert likely now to have, thou shalt have but feed on the coals, as did one my lady Portia. Oh, but here she comes. Sleek as a rabbit, see.
Act 3, Scene 11. Enter Harpax and Arida in Humida's gown, peruke and ruff, all of silver sea blue or cloud colour the best. Sadly muted, so we cannot hear what Arida's impression of Humida is.
Vulcan, my lord, my love, my joy. Ooh, follow me. Ooh, follow me.
Turns her tail and flows from him.
Oh, I come. I come.
He stops.
Man, what ails? Ooh, follow. Oh, follow.
News I cannot yet must say I cannot yet grope her.
Oh, jump on me, lightly I say.
She flows from him.
Her beast as nimble as the running stream went.
I have not seen fire so to have longed for a bucket of water in my life before.
Ooh, come kiss me here, sirrah.
She flows and looks back.
Tarry, sweet love, tarry 1 hour.
He sings and follows.
Ooh. In the face, here I say.
He looks back.
Wipe that sweat from off that face first.
Oh, it will make my kiss but too dry for thee.
Oh, nay. Oh, but that in faith I will try straight. What?
He stopped and started up.
Come along, sir, I pray you.
She flows, he follows.
Follow, I beseech you, sir, follow. Courage, sir, courage.
I didn't lost the line there. Much as I may or can, madam. Bad.
He stopped.
Oh, come on, sir. I say. What wilt give me if I come to thee? Say.
1,000,000.
Of what? Say.
Of beaten angels.
Otherwise of devils.
Ooh, who's your warrant?
My knave is.
Will you give your word for him, sir?
I do,
Upon your credit.
upon my little credit.
Oh, now come thy ways and mix thy lovely arms with mine.
She comes, he starts back.
Notorious trumpet, fie, how thou strikest.
Come again, sweet love doth know.
She sings, he starts back.
Thy graces that refresh.
I recant.
Oh, do not, my Vulcan.
She sings, he
La,
starts
la,
back.
La 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 la. La,
Yes, Arida. Oh, yes. Aye.
Oh, thou wilt not then be clipped by me.
Oh, I may not. Oh, Arida.
By thy faith and troth, Vulcan.
My faith and truth. No, Arida.
Farewell and be hanged too.
That's who be hanged too.
And exit Arida.
How do you, my lord?
I am fallen out of bride and went into bedlam. Sure.
How so, I beseech you?
The fury of that my longing is not turned into this, the thick kick of my loathing. See.
Many gallant men, of whom your lordship is one, hath loosed him ere now weeping cross, my lord.
I will strip the geese of their feathers.
Then stick them in your cap.
I will guard them preciously with 24 whipcord.
Why, Trim?
I will bugle them with pepper, with basalt.
Spectatum admissi risum teniatis amici?
They shall be constabled both for the next voyage towards Haven, Harpax.
The matter what you described him notably will. Now, for the form, how your lordship had need your learned counsel.
Who is that counsel, say?
It is myself, if so you do accept of me.
I will be punished once by the squire of thy advice, sirrah.
Here lieth hard by a famous Balene that speaketh oracles.
I have heard of the knave.
To him will I lead you, and from him you shall obtain a plaster for your broken head.
My wife will requite me, I suppose.
That's most certain, sir.
What blind lane is to be chosen thither, say?
This, that you would but metamorphose you into the habit and form of Madam Revenge of the Sea, with ship, bill, and bridle in hand held, and that you would suffer me lead you thither in manner, form, and fashion thereunto belonging, my lord.
What transformation would I not put me in to be revenged on the harlot sinner?
You saw well. Come your ways, you shall see that most faithfully and safely in the manner I will conduct you thither. Come.
I am persuaded.
Follow me, my lord, but
I do.
They exit, and here they knocked up the concert, because that is the end of Act 3. So we got the same game, exactly the same game, repeated in a slightly different fashion. And then we get a connection between the Balene plotline with Harpax to this plotline. It looks like Harpax is utilizing Vulcan's magical abilities to get his own ends there. Thoughts? Greg?
What madness is this? I feel like I've wandered into... I mean, I've read some mad plays in my time with you guys, but my God, I think this is just beginning to win the award for the nuttiest.
It's because he gives these constant, and it's not very good on Zoom. It's one of these problems of like short, like this stuff is supposed to be going like a machine gun. Come here, I do, papa.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, Liza, well done. I mean, I slowly realised it did almost sound like he was about to, and I'm sorry to use the word orgasm at one point, and then it's suddenly just. She does it. She destroys it, and I just got to this point where I was like, "Oh my God, I think I am actually just literally." I felt myself getting higher and higher and more like that, and I just went, I know this isn't going to happen. I know something's going to happen by the end of the scene whereby everything just goes wrong. But it's lovely because I think you said, Rob, this is actually written in verse, but it's been
for this particular iteration of the text is not.
But
yes.
suddenly, it's almost like and I think what's interesting is, we've had Vulcan. There's so many characters singing. It almost starts to feel like an operatic duet. That glorious, almost the cat duet comes to mind. Rossini's wonderful duet, but also some of the great duets in opera. But where that sense of crescendo, crescendo, crescendo. Whereas in opera, it probably gets somewhere. It suddenly just falls flat on its face by the end. That's great. I love it. I think it's amazing.
Though, to be fair, this last sequence looks less like it's actually in a properly structured verse form. I'm not sure that actually that it was, but again, that's for another phase of work on this text. Just figuring out what the hell's going on is sort of my priority. Eric.
Well, it does feel a bit like, I mean, aside from setting up the whole Vulcan visiting Balene thing, it just feels like they had a sort of cartoon moment of, you're not going to do this, and it's sort of like, I don't know, it's like, it just reminded me of like Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny going, and you're not good, and with like Elmer Fudd being the referee in a boxing match, sort of going, and you can't do this, and you can't do that, and you can't do that, and it's like, and sort of the reverse psychology thing of whenever Vulcan chases a girl or nymph, they either go crazy, well, pretend to go crazy about him, and he freaks out, or the other way. So, yeah, he chases them, and they, yeah.
The other thing is, assuming it was performed by, only a boys' company could have done this. There's no way in hell an adult acting company would have even attempted the complexity of that back and forth and making that physical business work with that dialogue. That requires pucker rehearsal, and not let's just run through it and figure it out rehearsal. That's just unbelievably fiddly and complicated, and that's possibly why nobody really believes that these were actually performed. These are more fanfics than actual practical scripts, because I just really do question the doability of so much of that. Actually, it's incredibly complicated. Okay,
well,
yeah,
I mean,
Liza.
there's choreography, but I don't think it's so undoable. It's just sort of what effects he had and what he was striving for.
Eric, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, and also it's a very basic thing, like, basically like sort of chasing each other around the table, and then suddenly they stop, look at each other, and then start chasing each other the other way. It's that kind of dynamic, I guess. But I guess the complex bit is trying to figure out what is going on with whom and why. So, like, when Arida is wearing Humida's gown, she's behaving as fluidly as Humida. And when Humida is wearing Arida's gown, she's behaving like Arida, which is like something you need like the whole play to sort of figure out, I think.
Yeah, and there's anyway, I've said what I've said. We will move forward. Act 4, Scene 1. I'm going to run a few scenes into each other before we close this session to just get a flow. Now that we sort of know who everybody is, hopefully this will flow a little neater. Act 4, Scene 1. Enter a lot of nymphs, all with angle rods. Nereus with an angle rod leading them the way. Who's Nereus?
I'm sorry about that. My mouse froze and I'm back.
Nereus?
Yep, I'm ready. Sorry, weird.
Yes, go.
Problems. Grand madam, since you be disposed, take our full fisherman sporting gree. I will lead you into such pleasures. plenty of straw of fishes, and those in copious numbers where they lie, that your ladyship will say there is not in anywhere the universe of mounds so great and noble sport as in the extent of our water element, that is. Try you to the experience when so you please.
My lord, so well I like the sport, and it with that true love that I and these my ladies shall lay dear wages on it, each of which shall draw the noblest fish unto her line. So I for myself, if gracious fortune follow my attempt, I do choose first the herring for my lot. For as the old ballad doth sing, of fishes of the sea, herring's the king.
For my part, I wish a puffing might bite a bait at my line, for it is a fish that prickles on him, and I wish a prickle might prick the hearts of them shall but attempt my bed, unless it be the gods themselves.
So do lady, for Themis may I not err.
For my money come lobster to my line, for if I win not Leander from Hero, I wish I might never go forward in love of mine, but ever they so crawl backward, I shall but greet in any case of love.
Well, my girl, keep thee in that mind still.
The gods of the sea send me a mackerel, for mackerel in French signifies board, and board should persuade me forego the flower of my virginity to any one packhead should but allure me with his gold.
A place for my fortune I wish, for if I shall not keep my place from such one as shall but assault him, I wish every mouth, like place itself, should wry their mouths at me.
Have I given out Eurostheny? I don't think I have.
I'll do it. A conjure for me, for if my grace given congrue not with my manners, I implore Venus would turn me to some monster sooner, for that materia presupponit habitum, do our philosophers say.
I wish a crab for as a crab has claws, so wish I now had claws of a crab too, if I claw not at him on the face that shall but offer violence to my maidenhead.
Now for me, and my dear hard Vulcan. Ah! Contrary, a cod would not come to me amiss than that a herring cob, I vow, madam.
And why not a herring cob, fool?
For I had rather sweethearted turned cod than so fought to cousin me for his gold, but was for gypsy served Antony once.
Good reason, marry. So, come your ways now, and let us but see the event of all, and the lords send thee thy longings, Aglaia, so it be not a herring cob, you say, but lead the way, my good lord Nereus.
Follow!
With our whole hearts we do.
Then come.
And they exeunt, having sort of just reminded the audience some of the plot things, and gone some fishing. Act 4, Scene 2. Enter Hero and Leander. The scene, timed by the sticks. Leander gave, and she read the posy about the gem.
Oh, why, my dear Leander, this be it, but I do not doubt but that by that overreaching wrench of my cunning, both to set thee free and save thy immortality too.
Nay, so nor so, for the gods have decreed on Leander's head to wreak their vengeance. For what that the mean is may stand Hero, and maybe invent, may make Leander's, oh, bloody hell, for what that the mean is may stand Hero, and maybe invent, may make Leander yield his heart's dear prize unto another's lust, his soul's so gem unto another's trust. Nay, truly, not all that wealth discontains could make him done it. Wherefore, I charge thee, sweet, by all those gods that on our wedding night were in our chamber, Venus, Priapus, by all my pains and by our wedlock band, by love, by faith, as I have persuaded thee to it, Hero, so likewise thou persuade him from it.
My good Leander, art jealous then? Although by due of my profession I am bound in myself to prostitute unto a faithful love's petition, yet well thou weenst, since first thou hadst the flower of my virginity, with that what dear care I have maintained it immaculate unto my soul fruition, thy soul fruition. Then, sweet my love, present me to the man, and for the rest let resolve it, hero alone with it.
Hero, hadst thou loved me true, thou wouldst have rated me for my rashness, not to have thus counselled me yield my better half unto the mercy of another's bed.
A man goes forth the morn, despairing life, yet returneth he victor home at night.
If once the hawk but find thee in his gist, how is it impossible thou do escape it?
If he had seized me within his fist, by Cytherea's grace he should not reap it.
Like words distill healing drops of balsamum unto my severed wound, then this once see, I give thee leave, but therewithal, hero.
Nay, what withal, my dear Leander?
Thou wouldst from point to point be circumspect now.
Come, what needed these desprecations? I will perform it, man. Thyself anon, when she's to take leave, present thou me, but only for Cytherea in open hall.
But shall I find you true in what you say?
True.
Now thou persuadest, not the whole world before.
Come on thy ways and follow me.
I do. First, sing you for.
Ha!
Leander sitting, hero singing to the gentleman. The fourth song, hero.
Fear not, O dismayed. Be not afraid, Venus' maid. She will well do it, whate'er ensue it. Be not afraid of Venus' maid. Venus is one alone. She won't refuse anyone. What they do move in case of love, she will not refuse anyone. Come along thou with me. Hence in many hours it will not be that I shall fit thee through her sweet pity. Hence many hours it will not be.
Big for old fool now.
Come.
And they exeunt. Act 4, Scene 3. Enter Humida and Arida together, and Aglaia. They meet.
Cousins Arida and Humida, I pray you, have you seen my sweetheart Vulcan any time this afternoon? I have sought him and sought all about court, nor yet can tell what is become.
Belike he is busy about his forge, madam, where your ladyship being of so dainty and so actable cares as you be, you will hardly endure the beating of the hammers. I am sure, for possible such tender ones as you be too, may not so well abide the crush of the hammer neither, as well I may conceive, lady.
Neither the smoke of the chimney, sure, lest that it should so commaculate the grace of that so lively a paragon of face as yours is, cousin Aglaia.
Nay, come on here further and tell me, where shall I find him, cousins?
What will you give us in recompense if we shall show you true?
All the gold she has, I'm sure, sister Humida.
The gold I have is contained in the lock of my hairs, cousins, and that is a greater portion by the root I have bestowed on him than for the lameness of his legs. But
what then for that the squint of his eye, I beseech you?
Nay, my beauty is not to be much bettered by that lady Arida.
Yet so it had need, if that so you had but been made one of Cytheraea, her graces, but for cause of your beauty only, cousin.
Nay, but me where he is. Beseech you now.
She will not sell her stone horse for 20 old nobles, I dare be thy warrant, Humida.
But say, I pray you.
He is gone to some water nymph of the court, he knows, but to wash that sweat off his brow, before he may taste the delicate and white bread of yours, which he hath purchased by price of his hammer, so.
Nay, then, which I have never have done in faith.
And to some bone setter, too, belike to pluck his leg a little straighter than he is, I wis.
Oh me, most miserable woman that I am, where shall I find the perfidious? Villain! Huh?
Be you then so jealous of him, cousin, as you seem to be, huh?
In a case, verily.
Why then?
For so possible the point better may pluck his leg forth to joint, and longer without his joint is not far any use, they say.
Then I will tell you truly of him, sweet cousin.
Come, I pray you.
Not too fast now, I pray you.
Well, patience, like to hear news of him, sideways.
Why, then he is going to buy him a face, better than any he hath at home, for to present therewith together with some other Cyclops in company, in dance of the smiths to Cytheraea, before she part from court.
Aye, and with every each of them but one eye apiece in their heads, cousin.
Oh, the unmerciful wage that is, by my troth. But will the mask hold? Will you persuade?
Yes, in sadness will it, if I have any judgment in cause of his plot, cousin Aglaia.
Why, what's the plot say?
Thereby he would but gain Cytheraea her favor, but for the upbuilding him before it. Near her grandfather King Saturnus, his court, where he may have iron work enough for his use to live on this dear iron time, sweet cousin Aglaia.
The plot is good, marry, for he hath but little iron work now in this pure and golden age of Saturnus, but for the gain by him a farthing thereby, certes.
Yet rusty iron is a good commodity if it be well furbished, they say, cousin Aglaia.
Yes, by my troth, it is sweet Arida. Thought to be as dry as is the earth itself, sinner.
Nay, good madam, make such a jest on me for all my dryness. I pray you, for possible I might so well have cozened you in the furbishing of it, I know.
And I and some of a humble maid's water might have made your iron somewhat more stiff than it is. I am truly persuaded, madam.
Verily, verily, you miss your aims both, my sweet cousins, both. Oh, what's the news, I pray you, is come from above?
Lord Hermes is come with an express from King Saturnus himself to hie Cytheraea up to court, they say.
You mock in faith, cousin Humida, say.
No, in sadness do I, madam, for now Cytheraea is ready to depart straight.
Nay, then, for that stock of gold I have, I may not be missing, for so she may well beat me about the face for my labour, I am sure. Therefore, let's all away. Come.
Yes, by my troth, let us, for I long to see how handsomely your sweetheart will tread forth a measure before Cytheraea. Same by my true maidenhead, I do swear to you, cousin.
Aye, and by that of mine, I protest unto you that as also by that of my true sister Arida too.
So and shall like you.
Then hie we in all, I beseech you, and let us quickly be jogging too. Nay, come away, I beseech you both.
We come.
And exeunt. Okay, I just wanted to sort of give a few scenes, a little relatively short scenes, that opportunity to sort of just bounce off each other, especially as we've got so many different plot lines that you just keep feeling that sense that there is motion, there is movement to these plots, that they are sort of intersecting. I mean, I really like the first scene of Act 4, just that sort of they're just sitting there, just fishing, just fishing. What do you want to catch? We're just going fishing for guys. So that sort of fun. Hero and Leander, back and forth. First sing you whore. That sort of interesting. And then that general moving again of this Aglaia and plot line with Vulcan, etc. And it just, the plot moves so glacially slow, and there's so much business between actual things happening rather than it's just so much business, and it goes on for so long. but there is a plot. It's almost like the plot gets in the way of doing the business.
Mm. And it's also becoming more and more relentlessly bawdy as it goes on as well.
Mm.
I'm picking up all sorts of parallels, ranging from Rawlinson End to the Earl of Rochester.
Mm.
I
Yes,
mean,
I think
not quite as
Rochester.
obvious as the Earl of Rochester, obviously, but some of the staging is reminiscent.
Yes. And some of the phrasing, actually. I mean, it's there is a lot there. So yeah, we're over two-thirds of the way through now. We are in spitting distance to the end. So we should be able to finish it in one more session. Happily, in fact, we'll have a bit of time to discuss it a bit more detail at the end of the final session. Assuming that we don't have a massive gap again, that we all forget what the hell's happening. Any final thoughts? There's interesting potential to some of the business. There are some good lines. There are some lovely songs. I just kind of wish that some of the set pieces went somewhere, rather than just repeat themselves. It's like catching this Leviathan is really interesting, but I kind of feel that it would be nice if something happened with that. It's like we've had two scenes of that, and we have two scenes with Vulcan and the Arida Humida sisters, and they're the same joke, which is fine to a degree, but it's just like, yeah, again and again and again and again and again. I'm not even sure how you'd cut this either, actually. I mean, I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could definitely trim back a lot of it. But it's just, do you remove set pieces, or do you just do salami cuts? Because you don't need that many dishes of fish going to the Leviathan. But I suppose you know, choose your battles. Any final thoughts in the room?
This is the first time I've been involved with this piece. Oh my God! To grab a title from a certain playwright, Mad World, My Masters. I don't think that causes any problems with this group. But yes,
you're fine.
No, good. I'm just checking it wasn't for anywhere else. No, it just, you're right. If you cut, apart from that fish scene, if you cut, you're going to start losing one of the plot strands almost. You're almost going to start losing. You're going to have to cut a plot strand, or just some very interesting fine tuning, maybe. But I mean, there's some great set pieces. The two Vulcan scenes with the two cousins were just beautiful and hugely fun to read. And I also like that last scene with Aglaia. I think her indignation getting again, he seems to like growing in crescendos, or maybe that's just the way I'm reading it, but he does seem to like to make things come to a climax every so often almost.
Yeah, and it's odd because it's not an excessively long play for the period. It is slightly on the longer side, but it's not for the period. It's about average, maybe a couple of thousand longer. And it's got at least 3 to 4 plot lines all going simultaneously, and yet it doesn't feel like anything's happening. And that's sort of really weird, and it feels like it's longer than it is. It feels long, and certainly feels longer than it should do. And I'm not quite sure why, because as I say, it seems the better formed in many ways than some of the other William Percys that we've read. Any other final thoughts? Eric?
I'm trying to work out if it would be like, if you played this at pace, would it be slower or faster? Because it's kind of, it has this very strange, bizarre pace that it goes at. And it, like, I mean, obviously we're reading it for the first time, so we don't know what on earth is going on anyway. But it's basically a musical about people trying to have sex with each other underwater. So it's basically Carmina Burana. No, I'm kidding. But it's just, I. Where do you even begin to untangle this one? It just, yeah. Like, I mean, and I
in
was
terms
here
of
from the
pacing,
beginning.
you were just saying on pacing, we can't time this on Zoom because the latency is killing our timing. We have lots of short lines that really need to bounce off each other and find their rhythm, and we can't find that. That's not our favorite. It's just not possible on Zoom, or not yet, anyway. And so, yeah, I think it moves faster than it does, or it has, and it certainly probably feels faster. It's just we're into Act 4, and I kind of would like a development of the plot strands now. I'd like a complication to occur. It's like we've established the plots. What's the complication? What is making this more complicated than, and nothing's really still happened yet. Sorry, I cut you off, Eric.
No, that's basically it. I'm just like, well, it's all fun, mostly the bits that I understand. But yeah, it's just kind of same three pieces, or like, I mean, it's like set pieces stuck together so far, and I'm trying to work out what, like, well, I can understand what they're doing with Balene. They're trying to lure him out or lure him. I mean, even from the next line is in the next scene, you can tell I, with my wisdom, might not get him forth his whole. It's like just some of it is hilariously badly written, and some of it is just obviously intentionally sexually innuendoed. I don't know.
There's an
Yeah.
awful lot of people coming. There's an
Yeah.
awful lot, and I do question. I don't know how much that was a thing in the early modern period as opposed to now. But if it wasn't, it fits within the logic of those scenes. Any other final thoughts to throw in before I close, Liza?
Just, I mean, I think that with the music and the effects that it's clearly meant to, and the choreography that it's clearly meant to have, this could be a really fun piece. There's, I mean, it has all the trappings of a mask, but the dialogue is more fun than masks usually get. Because in a mask, nothing really bad and nothing really funny can ever happen. So I don't know. I mean, yes, in the extremely unlikely event that I ever put this on stage, I probably would make some cuts. But if someone put a gun to my head and told me I had to make sure the whole thing was performed, I don't think that would be too much of a hardship. I think one could make this play fun. It's clearly intended to be fun. So one could bring out enough fun to justify the whole thing, and it might fly by considerably faster than we've been doing.
Any more for any more? Eric?
Well, I was thinking when we had all those songs about fish and stuff, it's basically like I like when they're trying to lure Balene out, or even when like the sort of basically all the songs except the last one, which was Hero and Leander sort of singing very sadly about things happening. It just made me think of that scene from Oliver Twist where it's like who will buy? Because like who will buy these beautiful roses, so on and so forth. Whatever the line is.
Yes, they're being fishmongers, aren't they?
Yeah, they're being fishmongers, and it's like someone just went, I want a musical about fish people and sea nymphs and everything. Because there isn't really a like I know the mythology, some of it fits, some of it doesn't, but that's the hilarious bit. Where it doesn't is where it makes most like the discord with the mythology, the discontinuity with the mythology is where it's hilarious, basically. And like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing is, yeah, the basic idea of the joke of they're trying to lure Balene out with the food and he doesn't come out, or he sort of does, but it's unclear in what way. It's the problem is that doesn't develop. There is no development to that. There is here are some fish, here are some fish, here are some fish, here are some fish, here are some fish. Today's fish is, and then the scene ends, and there's a thing with a firework and an antic, which is not very clear what it actually is. And that's as mirroring of the previous scene with Balene, and I suspect it may be what we get in the next scene. I don't know. Will it develop? And that's sort of the problem, is that we can make individual moments fun, but can we make fun half hours? To paraphrase the thing, is that the play doesn't have a shape, and that's currently a problem because it doesn't really go anywhere fast enough to just justify what it's doing. I worry also that I wouldn't be able to learn the lines. I genuinely think this is very difficult to learn, because it's not quite right as dialogue. It doesn't quite function. I was reading my lines with a sense of walking along a tightrope waiting to fall off any second now because I'm not quite sure what this entity is doing. Oh, there I am. I'm at the end. And, we mostly got through it, but it doesn't sing. It doesn't sing in that way. So, yeah. On that note, any other thoughts? I will close the session. Nobody's waving. Well, we have one more session with the Aphrodysial. Maybe something will happen in Act 5. All that remains is to thank all the wonderful readers for all their wonderful reading. Thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye. Regard my tool.